So I was pondering whether I should make this video or not, and that's the thing. I was pondering, and I don't ponder. With everything that I've been through in my life, I always thought that the only solution was for me to commit suicide and die, because that's just how rough my past has been. And it's not even everything I've been through, it's just how consecutive one struggle was after another. It almost gave me no room to breathe. I felt like I was being drowned. I felt like somebody was drowning me and never gave me a chance to get my head out of the water. 7 years ago, when I lost my home to fire and lost everything I owned and everything I loved, it's not just about me losing a home to fire and everything I owned to fire. It's that right before that happened, my mom had a heart attack. And right before my mom had a heart attack, I had to live alone for like 2 months. I had to be on my own, taking care of myself when I was 17 years old, trying to graduate high school, trying to make it into college and shit. I was taking care of myself. And I do believe that everything happens for a reason, just because that's the only hope that I had. Back in the day, God and I used to hate God. I used to think God was a bully. I used to think that God created my life to make fun of me. So it's not like I had anything else to depend on. So after having lived alone for a bit, I said, I know how to take care of myself. So when my mom had a heart attack, I would know how to take care of her. And then the fire happened, and within 1 hour, we were homeless. And when we were in the homeless shelter, all I did was cry and eat. I ate my feelings away. And it crushed me. I feel like at the moment that I should have been taking care of my mom, I couldn't even take care of myself. After the homeless shelter, they finally gave us this studio apartment to live in Brooklyn. And that was like, I'm from Queens, that's like 2 hours away by transit. And I was away from my friends, and the girl I was dating at the time ended things with me. And I just remember just being in that studio, just laying in that bed, just like digging my head into the pillow. Either I was crying hysterically or I was trying to suffocate myself. I was just kicking and screaming, asking like, why is all this shit happening to me? Why am I not happy? How come I've never really experienced bliss? You know, and I was young and naive, and of course I showed that side of me in front of my mom too, even though I knew that my mom had her own shit going on. The woman just survived a heart attack. I was in such a dark place, and I saw no way out of it. And that summer, that's when I really became me. I feel like that's when I truly started to embrace the struggles, because the only hope I ever had was that all this shit must be happening for a reason. The reason for a purpose that I can't possibly fucking even imagine, that I can't even understand. I didn't know what the fuck that was, but it was the only hope I had. That there was a reason, a purpose for everything that I was going through. So I go to Penn State, and I get diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And a friend actually tried to make me feel better by telling me at least it's not cancer. Don't ever say that to a diabetic, by the way. Or anyone for that matter. And then my mom was diagnosed with cancer. She had cancer. Long story short, she passed away. Back in the day, people would call me a bitch. People would tell me that I'm just too angry. People would tell me that I'm rude, that I'm too strict, that I'm too much of a hard ass, that I'm too blunt. And not much about that about me has changed, except I started to accept people who have actually never really gone through shit. I started to sort of censor myself. And when I decided to become a speaker and quit my full-time job, certain people were like, yo, Jiggy, if you really want to reach everyone, you need to speak to everyone. You need to speak in a way that will be delivered to everyone in the world. You need to tone it down a notch. You yell a lot. You curse too much. You sound angry. You're gonna need to work on your delivery. I've learned a lot this past year, and the art of speaking and the art of communicating. I've learned how to observe my audience. I've learned to adapt to the energy in the room. I've learned a lot about the way that I should speak, and I've explored many different ways of speaking. Like if you listen to my podcast, you see a huge difference between the first episode and then whatever it's up to now. But the thing is, the more and more I tried to take advice, the more I was moving away from my authentic self. Maybe sometimes I get loud, but that's passion. Maybe sometimes I curse too much, but that's my pain. The moment that I lost my home to fire, that whole summer I've realized that no one can tell me how to be myself, and no one can tell me how to feel. So when people tell me that I need to stop being so loud, or that I should stop cursing so much, and that I should speak this way and that, as the receiver of advice, I have to be self-aware enough to know. I have to know the difference between advice and robbery of what makes me unique. That's the thing that people don't understand. I'm not trying to please everybody. That's impossible. Even Ellen DeGeneres has haters. I'm not trying to inspire people who are already inspired. I'm not trying to make happy people even happier. When I was in such a dark place in my life, positivity, happiness, it sounded like bullshit to me. It sounded impossible to me. My dad gave me a book, The Power of Positive Thinking. That's how badly he felt like I needed positivity in my life. I didn't read it. He gave me that book back in early 2000s. It's 2017 now. I just started reading it the other day. That's the thing that some people don't understand. Like, why do you think people listen to Eminem so much? Why do you think people write letters to artists like that? It's because they're blunt. It's because they speak real shit. It's because they're raw. It's because they speak pain. It's because so many people can relate. I'm not gonna be able to reach the kind of people that I want to reach by speaking like every other motivational speaker out there. That's just not gonna happen. I'm lucky that I'm alive. I don't know how it happened. I don't know why it happened. But not everyone who's in a dark place right now, the same dark place that I was once at, or even worse, if they never find hope, I don't want those people to die. And I'm not going to depend on luck to save them. I got lucky, yes. I'm alive, but I'm not banking it on the same luck to save everybody else too. If your life has been so perfect that you can't believe, you can't even possibly imagine what it's like to be in that kind of darkness, good for you. You can go listen to somebody else who speaks a lot more gently, but being like everybody else never got me anywhere. I think there are so many different ways to spread love in this world, and I think I'm just a very different way to do it. But I do believe this is my purpose, and I do believe that I'm serving God. I don't expect everybody to understand.